city was quiet in the way only guilt understands. Not peaceful, not still, just waiting for someone to speak first. Julian Mercer sat in the dark, staring at the piece of paper on the motel table. A name, a street, a time, written in his own hand, but not in his own voice. Midnight, 2022 Ellison Lane. He didn't know what was there, only that Emory did, and that was enough. He arrived early, 11:42 p.m. The street was empty. One flickering street lamp, one boarded-up laundromat, and across from it, a church. Old, brick, long abandoned. Its front doors were chained shut, but around the side, a window hung loose on its hinges. Julian climbed in. Inside, the air was stale. Dust and age settled in every corner. Pews covered in mold, broken stained glass. The altar was cracked, the cross missing. But in the back, a door, white, clean, too new for a place like this. Julian approached slowly. No footsteps echoed. The silence swallowed everything. He opened the door and stepped into a room that shouldn't exist. It was spotless. Fluorescent lights, white walls, a single metal table, 2 chairs, and on the wall opposite him, a mirror. Julian knew this setup. Interrogation rooms always looked the same, but this one wasn't in any precinct. He stepped inside. The door closed behind him, automatically. No handle on the inside. He was locked in. Julian sat, folded his hands, waited. At exactly midnight, the lights dimmed, and the mirror came to life. Not a reflection, a window. On the other side, Emory. Same clothes, same face, same eyes. But Emory was smiling. "Took you long enough," Emory said. Julian said nothing. Emory leaned forward. "You always think you can fix things by naming them. But some things, some truths, don't want to be healed. They want to be known." Julian's voice was low. "Why are you doing this?" Emory tilted his head. "You already know. Say it." Emory laughed softly. Then he reached beneath the table and pulled out a file. Thick, worn. He dropped it on the table with a heavy thud. "These are yours, every one of them." The file slid across the table, through the glass, and landed in front of Julian. He opened it. Photos, dozens, crime scenes, victims, autopsy reports. Some he recognized, most he didn't. But the signature was always the same. The hourglass. "This isn't possible," Julian whispered. Emory nodded. "It is, and it happened." Julian shook his head. "I didn't do this." Emory leaned forward, eyes dark. "You did. You just weren't awake for it." Julian stood, backed away from the table. "I'm turning myself in." Emory grinned. "And say what? That your imaginary friend did it? They'll lock you up or put you down. Either way, you lose." Julian reached into his coat, pulled out his badge, looked at it one last time, then threw it to the floor. "Then I lose, but not one more person dies." The mirror flickered, then faded to black. The door behind him clicked open. Julian stepped out into the empty church, back through the window, back into the cold. He walked straight to the nearest police station and turned himself in. They didn't believe him at first. Why would they? A decorated detective claiming to be a serial killer with a second personality named Emory. But then came the details. Too precise. Too accurate. Things no one else could know. Julian told them where to find the journals, where the bodies were buried, even who would be next. The confession took 3 days. By the end, there was no doubt. Julian Mercer was the Sandman. Lena visited him once. Just once. She sat across from him in the interview room, didn't speak for 5 full minutes. Then, quietly, "You stopped it." Julian nodded, eyes hollow. "Barely." She stood to leave, then paused. "I never stopped trusting you." He didn't respond, because some things break too clean to put back together. Julian was sentenced to life in a psychiatric facility. Maximum security, no visitors. Dr. Gray filed testimony, confirmed the diagnosis: dissociative identity disorder. Secondary identity, Emory, capable of calculated violence, capable of concealment, capable of anything. In his cell, Julian kept a small notebook. He wrote each night, not about the murders, not about Emory, about dreams, the ones that still came. Sometimes they were quiet, a field, a lake, Madeline smiling. Sometimes they weren't. Sometimes the mirror cracked, and Emory stepped out, grinning, waiting, whispering, "We're not done."